He is Shane Laughlin Black, the internet's original stunt writer.
Well, you can do what you want to us, but we're not going to sit here and listen to you bad-mouth the United States of America. Gentlemen!
Early next year, I will celebrate the 50th anniversary of my first working computer program. That's right, I've been programming computers now for 5 decades. In that time, I've acquired a little knowledge here and there about how computers work. I am therefore well equipped and fairly competent to evaluate the elaborate claims being made about things like artificial intelligence. Simply put, AI is not AI. In this video, I'm going to show you the fundamental flaw in our understanding of AI. I'm also going to show you how humans waste opportunity and harm themselves in the process. Suppose there are 50 million unemployed people in the US and 50 million job openings. Expressed in computer programming terms, that's a many-to-many pattern matching problem. The people have various skills which may or may not match the skills required for each job. If all the data points line up properly, all 50 million of those people could be slotted into their dream jobs in a half hour, using a standard scripting language and a moderately complex database. In fact, all of those employers could list all the employees by suitability expressed as a percentage. Problem solved. We go from disaster to full employment in 30 minutes. Give me the skills list of the candidates, the skills required by the employers, and I could write the software in the language of your choice in 2 days and have it in beta in a week. For the executives out there who are unfamiliar with how work is done on computers, this is how work is done on computers. Yet, for some reason, AI can't find you a job, even if you asked it to. You would get platitude after excuse, followed by a list of websites to wander through and perhaps some heavily diluted advice about your resume. It can do your job, apparently, which is much more complex than evaluating an 8-line ad in a 300-word resume, but for some reason it just can't find you that job. Even the multi-trillion-dollar companies that offer you paid subscriptions to job sites won't make this happen. Do you find that odd? I certainly do. The problems that human beings really need solved are things like getting out of debt, finding a spouse, building an investment strategy, helping their kids learn to read, getting a better job, doing a better job, buying a house, electing competent people to government, and so forth. What do we have instead? Find me a better movie to watch? One might be tempted to wonder if there's an agenda at work. Why all the obstacles to finding work? With all the technology we've deployed at this point, you should be able to find a job as easily as you can have lunch delivered. Why should it be any harder than that? You announce to the data sorting system, I need a job. You feed it your qualifications, and out comes 3 offers. Done. If it's any harder than that, it's being made harder on purpose. Why? What value is it to society to obstruct people who want to work? When you're selling something, you often find yourself in the position of having to get your audience excited about the product. That can often lead to, shall we say, exaggerated claims about just how handy-dandy your innovative, world-changing, industry-disrupting new kind of sponge is. Nowhere else is this more true than big tech, where a bunch of tech bros in a one-page sketch could seemingly raise hundreds of millions in venture capital overnight. They can't find jobs, of course, but they can organize an IPO. And so it was with artificial intelligence. Everyone spoke about this technology as if it were some new thing. It isn't. Artificial intelligence has been studied for 700 years. The first computers invented to reason alongside man were built in the 12th century. Making a machine that thinks has been the goal of inventors ever since. Some attempts have been more successful than others, but the quest hasn't slowed much over the years. Without going into all the tedious details, what we are calling AI today is an elaborate pattern matching machine. What should come next is the imperative in a large language model. It is not the foundation of an artificial general intelligence, nor is it some kind of magic machine that could find all the answers. It is a fairly pleasant next step in search engines. Whether it goes beyond that remains to be seen. For someone with the knowledge required to ask the right questions, AI could be nudged into doing rather useful things. For example, AI can readily perform comparison tests It can suggest alternative wording and do multi-step arithmetic. It can even do geometry and trigonometry. It is ultimately an evolutionary step forward from the command line interface. One of AI's best features is that it has not yet been abstracted into a graphical interface, and one hopes it never will be. But AI is not AI. For example, one moderately priced consumer-grade PC equipped with sufficiently optimized software could analyze, compile, and produce every necessary regulatory financial document for every business in the United States in a matter of a few hours. Today's PCs are equipped with general-purpose microprocessors that can perform billions of mathematical calculations every second. Almost all of that processing power is currently being used to run web browsers, play videos, and animate games. Meanwhile, those same processors, equipped with a gig of RAM and a 32 gig USB stick, could do all the calculations required to go from kindergarten to PhD in mathematics in about 4 minutes. You see, it's very easy to make grandiose claims about something, and in the process overlook the real value of what you have. What is going to lead to a better outcome? A world where you have 40 million angry unemployed people, or a world where the average person could find work at need? Why don't you ask AI what it thinks? Blackout.
Shane Laughlin Black,